Recording in progress. I understand. I accept the recording. Hello. Hi, Brian. How are you?
It's your nature to be accepting of almost everything,
I accept.
except the unacceptable. You do not
Right?
accept the unacceptable, but anything else, you're very accepting of.
Oh, well, sweet. Hello. Welcome to Dagger Cast. It's me, Lindsay, and it's him, Brian. We are here.
Yo.
We are doing our thing. Just having a blast. I'm very excited. We skipped a week, so I've had some time to watch some things. And I have some things to say, and I'm very excited about them.
Wow.
Let me get a couple things out of the way because I really just want to dedicate this whole time to our guest.
Okay.
Number one, um, did you see Jackass Forever?
No.
It's not, I mean, not a horror movie, though. If you talk to some old people, they're usually like, oh no, that scares me. I would never watch.
Yeah, but I have not. I have not.
It's fine. That's fine.
I
I wanted,
saw the grandpa one and thought it was very, very funny.
yes.
Bad
Okay,
grandpa
so
or whatever that was.
yeah, Dirty Grandpa or Bad Grandpa or
I
something.
think probably Dirty Grandpa. I think I
Anywho.
think I think Robert De Niro was Bad Grandpa.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. There was also a Robert De Niro with no stunts.
Yeah.
So who cares?
Except
But
the fact that he was sleeping with Aubrey
Plaza.
Plaza. Yeah.
I love Aubrey Plaza. Anyway,
So did Robert De
I
Niro.
would like to give a Daggercast commendation to the Jackass guys because what they could have done is just end their entire thing on just like an insular white people doing stunts, yuck yuck, we're all old thing. But instead, they brought a bunch of young people of color, people of different sizes and shapes, women.
Nice.
Like they brought like they basically, not saying it, pass the torch to people who don't look like them.
Cool.
And
Awesome.
granted, I was high as a kite when I saw that
Were there
movie.
any moes? Were there any homosexuals?
I mean, I guess
Maybe?
it never came up. There was a
Okay.
lot of dick. I mean, a
Okay.
lot of dick. There was a lot of bruised and beaten dick, but also dick. Lot of dick. Which was a pleasure for me. I was very happy. But really, like, I went on a tirade, a very high tirade about like they could have just kept it white, kept it normal, and we would have been like, okay, that was okay. But they did this whole thing with like different races. They had like a black son and his black dad. They like brought him into a stunt. Like they really like made it like this, like anyone can do this. You can do this. And it really it warmed my heart and is, kind of just, solidified why I do this and why I talk so much about this, people using film to like reach across experiences that they don't have to bring people in that they need to like that they want to reach out to that maybe aren't as easy to get to. But like, that Jackasses, people love fail videos, every color and creed love videos where people are hurting themselves. So it's like I was just really proud of them, and I'm really proud. And my second thing is hello Daggercast. If you haven't read any Octavia Butler sci-fi, I highly recommend it. If you don't know who Octavia Butler is and you're like, who the hell is even that? Go educate your fucking self. I just read a book from hers and it was amazing. She's won a bajillion awards. She was the first sci-fi writer to ever get a Hugo, or not a Hugo, a MacArthur grant. Girl is fucking badass, and she is a black woman in sci-fi, and it is absolutely amazing. And I'm sorry that I'm going off, but I didn't know who she was until very recently when I was like really like, hey, what's this Afrofuturism about? This is the godmother of that. Like she is literally killing it. Like it's amazing. And her books are from the 80s and 90s. Like
Yeah.
if you love sci-fi in any capacity, read her books. I swear to God, I'll kill you if you don't. Okay. All right. That's basically the two things I really needed to get out of the way before we started
That's
talking
a
about our.
classic version of your accepting non-acceptance, I guess. Unacceptance.
Right, exactly.
Do this
I
or I'll
accept
kill
this,
you.
and if you don't, I'll fucking murder you.
Yeah,
I swear to God. No, seriously, like, yeah, I just needed to get those two things off my chest
yes.
because those were like the two things where I was like, holy shit, like this is media that like that got it for me. And I wanted to get those out of the way because I know that we have a guest that we've had before,
Yes.
and that we love him so nice that we want to invite him twice. But Brian, you do the honors here because you know the most.
I know the most.
You know
Well,
the most.
I
That's
know the most.
across the board. You know the most.
Well, you know, he's a comedian, a punk rock musician, you know, a Chicago and beyond legend. Our buddy Germ is back in action, and
Woo!
we're going to spend some time with him talking. So come on down, my man, of all seasons, including this one.
Show your face.
Am
Woo!
I doing it?
Stop clowning around. Okay, so describe now. Who did that painting?
I have no idea.
No idea?
In this room, in my clown room,
Well,
I picked up at thrift stores, so I have no idea.
Seriously, I love it. I love it.
There's no name. There's no name on it.
Dude, how much did that set you back?
I don't. I have no idea.
Probably
money. How
much
does the money work?
You can find the most amazing.
I don't even look at price tags.
A buck, you know, like a couple bucks, you know, and you got this great piece of art.
FYI, we reached Germ in his clown room.
Yeah.
Thrift store finds are the best finds.
They are.
They really are.
And Dollar Tree.
Yes. Oh my goodness gracious gravy. You can find so much at a Dollar Tree.
Do they have a lot of clown stuff? Because I don't normally look for clown stuff, but like, do they have clown stuff at the Dollar Tree?
I do not believe so, but they do have like a good selection of movies.
Oh, I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Because it's all like indie. It's like stuff that you might find on Tubi or even Shudder. Like, and then it's there for $1.25 on Blu-ray.
So some minor Scream Factory releases. Yeah. Literally, I'll go and like, oh, I just need some tinfoil, and I'm like, $25 later, and right? All films, you know, like holy shit. So yeah.
Like Target by a third of the cost. It has the same effect that Target has, but a third.
Yeah. I found now this I thought was really cool.
Are you gonna? He said it's really cool, and then he's going to show us his butt.
I was like, I'm just really cool. Look at my ass.
Don't remind you of these zombie masks? Don't they remind you of Fulci zombie? Like the the cover.
Yeah, and that was $1.25.
That was $1.25 free because like the first one I bought for $1.25, then I was like, it just looks like the box cover for ZOMBI zombie.
Yeah.
Fulci, and so I was like, well, I might as well grab another one. You know,
right
there, you know,
start a cult.
And the lady was like, oh, this won't ring up. She's
here. Oh, this won't ring up. I don't care.
A little Prezi.
These are
crazy from me to you. $1.25. Dollar Tree to Bri to the big gay horror fan. You got a free mask.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
I just wrote that song. I wrote that song for you. Was it a good one?
It was, you know, a little bit. My mind's blown. You know, actually, in a good way. Yeah.
Good.
So, thank you.
So
you're welcome.
I'm trying to think back at the last time that we hung out with you in person.
How long ago was that? I was trying to figure that out myself.
It was like two years ago.
3.
Okay.
That would
3?
Maybe.
Was I sober? No, probably more 2. Probably more 2 because we started this in the winter of 2019, and yeah, so it probably would have been about 2 years ago.
Okay.
Winter of 2019.
Right.
Sure.
I can't remember. It was 2 or 3 years
ago. The winter of my discontent.
Yeah, I feel like I've been seeing like anniversaries, and one of them was this one, and it was me on the pool table.
It might have been 3 years ago because we didn't do this for almost a year. Yes, it would have been 3 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we did our initial like no one out there listening gives a fuck, so we're just like
when did we see each other last? When was tea time? I want some tea.
But yeah, no, I think it was 3 years ago. 3 years
No,
ago.
what I wanted to bring up is the last time we talked to you, I had a revelation that all Santa horror was for the gays, was 100% for like the leather bear community, and that like it blew my mind because you were talking about it. You're like, oh yeah, I love Santa. I'm like, holy shit, leather, big beard. Sometimes he's got to be super built. I mean, he's got to be built, kind of on the heavy side. Holy shit! Like it blew my mind, and it was like something that I then, if I ever came across a nice bear, I'd be like, hey, question, like, what do you think about Santa Claus? Like, it was really like a fun, and a lot of them were like, holy shit, you're right, Santa's a daddy, and I'm like, we did it. So
were you high when you came to this revelation?
No, we were in the interview. Like literally we were in the interview and you were talking about Santa horror, and I'm like, we had that talk where I was like, what the hell? Like, and it hit me in the face, and that was
you saved
cool.
this revelation for this moment. You're like,
yeah.
I've got a time and a place. I'm gonna throw this back out.
Well, no, I brought it up in the interview in our interview previous. And but I'm just saying, like, that was the day, like that was the conversation that I had where it clicked for me, and I thank you. And
no, yeah, no problem.
I feel like ever since I feel like I've brought that up, and a lot of people have been like, holy shit, you're right, like Santa, of course, like, and it's been you know, what I like about this show is that, you know, I feel like I have other people have different ways of thinking about stuff and than I do.
Right.
Yeah. So thank you for that. And then also just like your whole or like attraction to clowns has been really like eye-opening as well. These were like moments that literally like me and Brian and Jared all just thought about, and we're like, man, that was a great conversation. So a lot of pressure now.
So who is the genteel kind of old-fashioned looking lady in the clown room?
That is
she a clown?
I don't know her name, but I know that she is well known. That is a tattooed woman, though.
Oh, nice. Okay. So she's a circus performer. Okay, now I can see the tattoos. Now I can see the tattoos.
Yeah, I didn't really have a place to put these two wonderful prints, so they're down here, and they're just sort of judging the clowns. They're like, "Oh my goodness, look at these guys!"
Very much like a stern, judgmental mother figure.
Yes.
You like it
at the same time, which is really like. You have to mind your P's and Q's around her.
It's kind of your vibe is making me think a lot about Nightmare Alley. Did anybody see that?
Nightmare what?
I have seen
Nightmare Alley.
No, that was beautiful. It was gorgeous.
I thought it was gorgeous. I just thought the script was not. I thought I don't know. I really thought it was like it was the weakest Guillermo del Toro that I've ever seen, but I thought it was gorgeous. Like the sets were like mwah, like absolutely beautiful. But I was just like, that was about it. I read the book.
Well, I was a little disappointed when I found out it was a remake.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is that I've seen the original film. Which is brilliant.
I read the book too, and so
the you know,
I ate the cereal.
Do well. What's that?
Lindsay said that she read the book, so I said I ate the cereal.
Hey, well, you know,
I got the face mask, the Nightmare Alley original face mask,
the Dakota ring.
Nice. Yes, but it kind of was one of those films that came out, didn't do well, but has gained this immense amount of respect. It's kind of like this twisted noir, and it was Tyrone Power who was like, you know, the romantic, you know, god of cinema. It was his attempt to do something really dark, and he was brilliant, and it was a brilliant film. And Joan Blondell and, you know, Colin Gray, and just an amazing cast. And yeah, so it's one of those films like where I was just like, oh, you know, you can do what you want, remake what you want, but you know, the original is kind of standalone, at least.
Well, it was also really funny to me because like the whole book, he talks about like this guy is just such a fucked up guy. Like the main character is just so fucked up that like he's like almost like a sociopath. He's just like an inherently bad person and he knows it. And he literally says that he lives his entire life like he's running in this alley, like in a nightmare. And that's literally how he like, and that's like what, and that's what the whole book like. Alley. So he talks of it like every now and then it just shows up that the book and like it's so weird that I don't know. It would like I feel like the original was so different from the book, and so then this movie was different from the book. I just thought it was a little too like, yeah, it was a little too old. Like it was almost like Guillermo del Toro was like, "Do you remember this old ass movie? Remember how good it was?" And a lot of us were like, "No." And then he was like, "Still gonna make a movie." Woo! Like he just like went for it, and everything was gorgeous, and the stars were all there. But I was just like, "Okay, that's enough."
Remakes. Have you seen the new Texas Chainsaw?
I have not.
You have not?
Oh, the series, the Netflix series?
No, it's a new Netflix movie.
Oh, it's a movie. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay. All right. So then we will not discuss that.
Dang it.
I also talk about it if you guys, has anybody seen it? Have you seen it, Lindsay?
I haven't seen it.
Well, Brian's seen it.
All I've heard about it is that it is a socially conscious one. And I'm like, okay, but I haven't watched it yet. I did watch Scream 5. That was a goddamn trip. Like cuz they were like the movies were already sort of like meta, you know, cuz like they had the movie and then they were making the movie Stab. Then now it's just become this like it's like a Ouroboros fucking like I feel like it was a kaleidoscope. I felt like I was like walking into like they wanted us to look so many places and they wanted us to just like dive into this like concept, and it just got so meta and like really conceptual in a way that I was like, oh god, like is this real life or is this a movie or is it both or is it neither? I don't know. It was really fucking weird. To a point where I was constantly second guessing who was the killer the whole way through. But that's what they wanted you to do. They had a whole scene. Yeah, they had a whole scene where a guy was like just making lunch or just like getting dinner ready. And there would be like the scary music and then nothing would happen and then nothing would happen. And then they just kept doing it until finally a scare happened. I thought they could have gone further with that. Yeah, I don't know. It was just, yeah, I feel like you can't do Scream anymore because now they've just done this thing. Like, I feel like the next Scream is just going to be like, it's going to be like I don't know. I'm trying to think of something like a Guillermo del Toro. Like, it'll just be like we go into a rabbit hole, into a fantasy land. And
I would assume there is going to be another one, correct? I mean, this one did so well.
I can only assume so, but I just don't know where they're going to go because like the movie before, they talked so much about horror movies. There's like literally a scene where a woman dies before rattling off just a shit ton of weird horror movies. And this one was just so much like they were embracing the tropes of each horror movie. Also, some of the main characters died. So like, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think they're going to. They literally had that like end credit scene where it was like Courtney Cox and it was like Courtney Cox. Her acting in it, like what they did for Avengers Endgame, where it was like everyone got like the main guys got like these amazing like the end credits, like it was like and Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, and you're just like, okay, yeah, we get it. Y'all are leaving the franchise, like we get it. So like it was kind of like that. So I wonder if they're like leaving the franchise for good. We'll just make, the Screams will just be of fully new cast members now. Or a rabbit hole fantasy land like I think it's going to be. It's got it.
I mean, I haven't seen it. I thought 3 was so bad. I haven't returned I haven't watched 4. I really wasn't interested in 5. But it sounds like Inception, the way you're describing it.
It's literally like Screamception. And you're just like, and I feel like the next one has to be even like directed by Christopher Nolan, bonkers crazy. If we're following that path.
Well, see, now that interests me.
Yeah, like I want to.
Scream 3 was so bad. I was like, ugh, left a bad taste in my mouth. I never want to go back to it.
Wow.
The first 2 are so good.
I want them to get to like a Scream X situation where we're in space.
Scream in space.
Yeah. The year is 3038. Like Sidney Prescott's, great granddaughter is like,
wakes up from being frozen in time, and Ghostface is now some sort of mutant alien that has like butcher knives for hands.
Yeah, it's like a chrome. It's a chrome face.
If this was the 90s, they'd go to space. Everybody went to space in the 90s.
Leprechaun went to space. Hellraiser went to space.
Wow.
Jason Voorhees went to space.
Jason Voorhees went to space.
Freddy didn't go to space.
That's the Scream I would watch. Actually, is the Scream like Ghostface and Leprechaun, Hellraiser.
That's the Nightmare on Elm Street I'd watch. Everybody's talking about how do we reboot Freddy? You put him in space.
Don't reboot him. Please don't.
Yeah, we keep talking about how.
Do you have a favorite series, Germ?
Yeah.
Like we're talking series. Do you have a favorite all time?
Well, I do love Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, I can't think of a single one in the original franchise that I don't like, that I don't enjoy.
Yeah.
Are you saying don't reboot it so that it stays like pure?
Yeah, no.
Are you saying like I really dig like the one no one else does, like Freddy's Dead? Like I dig like in all the series. I have a soft spot for like the ones that no one else like Freddy's Dead. I think is fun and Dream Child and in the Halloween series I love the ones that no one else seems to love. So.
No, I mean I totally get that because like for me I saw Halloween 3 before I saw Halloween 1, and when I went back and I started watching the original I'm like, what is this? I felt like Jack Skellington being like, what is this? Where's the masks? Where's Silver Shamrock? Where I wanted something different. I was like, I really love part 3, and I feel like it doesn't have Michael Myers in it. It sucks. It's like, you suck.
Yeah.
You don't have Michael Myers in you, and you suck. Booger picker.
That's amazing. No, I like when people like the weird one of a sequel. I'm trying to think of my weird one.
Such a great story that.
Then I didn't even know about the cult of what is it, the cult of Michael Myers one? What's it called?
Is it the Curse of Michael Myers?
The one where there's like they got a symbol and there's a cult.
Yeah. I love that one. I think it's the Curse, right?
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, but I didn't even know about it.
It's the Curse of Michael Myers. Yeah.
I got the producer's cut in like a mystery box, and
nice.
I was like, "Oh, I got it in a mystery box. I gotta watch it."
See, I love that. I love the Curse of Michael Myers. I love it.
It was interesting.
But that's another one that's muy hitadoed.
Germ, you watch literally so many movies in a year. Like you showed us your amazing movie room earlier. What have you been digging? What'd you dig last year? What was your big ones last year? Since this year is new.
I would have prepared something if I would have known questions.
We don't know the questions. I just found out that was the question just now.
And
going off the top of your box.
Accepting of it. She's accepting of the question. She's
accepted.
Yeah.
I can't think now. Oh shit! I feel stupid.
No. I think it's that night. I think it's this kind of night. Like
let it simmer. Let it marinate.
Was the Curse of Michael Myers, but I had to check the Blu-ray box set just to make sure. So
it's a Tuesday,
that kind of
man.
evening. It's that kind of mind-numbing fumble for words evening. But we're accepting of that.
See, now if I wasn't talking to you on my phone, I would look it up on my phone on Letterboxd.
Do you need me to look up on? Do you need me to look something up on my phone?
I know that I loved the new Suicide Squad. It was fun,
Nice.
and it was over the top. And I'm not a comic book movie guy, but I was thoroughly entertained.
Yes.
What's his name? Did it? James Gunn.
Yeah.
Yep.
James Gunn is killing it. He
pedigree.
On top of that, have you watched the new Peacemaker? Have you watched the Peacemaker show on HBO?
No, I don't have HBO.
Oh man, find get it. Find somebody.
And it's the 25th anniversary of Tromeo and Juliet, which was James Gunn.
Which was a James Gunn, yeah.
Wasn't that his first movie he did? First full-length movie?
Yep.
Yeah, no,
it's amazing who started out at Troma.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. And even when, like, do you remember when people were trying to cancel him because of like old tweets that he had?
Yes.
And like Disney
old joke tweets too. They were
joke
jokes.
tweets. Yeah. And
you literally they're like talking about how he wanted to molest kids because he made a joke about like eating children or killing children. Or it's like, just fucking calm down. It's a joke. I understand sarcasm isn't taken well over social media.
He was and it turns out too that he was saying that as a castigation of the Jeepers Creepers dude. Well,
I'm literally looking at my movies trying to figure out what I loved last year.
That's all good. Yeah, take your time, man. It's all good.
No, it's very serious. It's very serious.
I appreciate your seriousness here.
But this is not. I mean, you're not getting very good video footage of me.
Look at that screen. Look at that screen.
This is what every horror fan in the world wants. And
this is I have a house and I want the. Did they want? Yeah, they want all of this. They want all of it.
Name some good movies that came out last year. Let me know. Maybe it'll jog my memory.
Oh man. Yeah.
Nope. Brain's empty. My brain's empty. But I will bring up the James. I'll talk about the James. I'll vamp with the James Gunn stuff. So literally, like Disney was like, "You can't do the next Guardians of the Galaxy. You just can't, because you said mean stuff. We're just gonna nip it at the bud." And every director, every actor that's ever worked with him, stood in his defense and was like, "Y'all need to chill the fuck out and let him do his shit." And then they did. I think isn't he doing the next? He's doing the next Guardians, right?
Pretty sure he has to. I think he has to.
Either way, he was pretty much like uncanceled by his peers being like, okay, no, that's not the James Gunn we know, which was really cool.
Did you see Nighthouse, Germ?
No, I bought it, but I haven't watched it yet.
That was a good one.
I just got a text from our ever faithful leader, Mr. Jared Olson, because that was one of my favorites from last year. So.
Oh snap! I got a low battery alert.
Oh no!
Am I still there? Am I still... Let me go see what we can do.
All right,
low battery.
We'll figure something out.
Low battery, spooky. Oh my God, there's no light. Ah! This is like one of those movies that they make on their phones. What? Yeah, oh, now there's light again. It's not scary anymore. Whoa.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
So the last time you were on, Germ, you were talking about a number of female filmmakers who you'd been helping promote and give money to. Like how are those projects?
That's right. Yeah. How's producing?
You know, how do they turn out? You know, we're always down with the female voice.
I have a sensitive subject.
Oh no.
Yeah. The last film project that I donated a sizable amount of money to as a producer still hasn't really come to fruition, and that was years ago. I'm not really happy about that.
No, is that a common thing that like it just seems like everything, you know, and I don't know if that's a situation where they took money and did something else with it and you know, and that would suck, but you know, sometimes that artistic process is just insane. We just
COVID probably didn't help either, right?
Right, exactly. Well, that's what it is. That's what it is. Right now, at least. I mean, I don't know about other people who put money towards projects, But right now, I'm like, until this movie is made, that this is why I'm glad I'm sober now too, because I had already sent them some money, and then I was taking an Uber back from seeing, I forget who, but I was drunk and got a text and being like, "Oh, our camera's broke. We need a new camera. Could you send us some more money?" And I was like, "Okay, it's just money. Here you go." And of course, now, years later, because that was before COVID, I'm like, "Hey, I would like to see something done with my money."
Yeah, seriously.
Make me a movie with my camera that I gave you.
Right. But I mean, other than that, it's just like the last thing that came out, I haven't even watched yet, so I can't really say much about it, but it's called Mother Noose's Once Upon a Nightmare.
All right.
Okay.
And it's an anthology. So
I guess.
Yeah, look it up, check it out. I'd appreciate it. It's by Buck Short Productions. Now that I'm in my office, maybe I can actually look something up while I'm talking.
Ooh.
Look at that.
No, it literally showed up the second I just put Mother Noose in. So that was
I would think that's pretty unique, though. That's a pretty unique signifier there, Mother Noose,
Well, I was surprised that I was eating lunch in the break room at my work, and one of the people I'd worked with, I had mentioned that I had 8 short stories published in the past 2 years. Nice. And they're like, "Well, can we look up your name?" And I was like, I never really thought about it, because I'm like, it's all anthology books and literary magazines and stuff. So I went on Amazon and I just typed in my real name, Jeremy Lowe, and 2 out of the 8 popped up just off of my name, and I felt a little fancy.
Yeah, well, you should have, and you should be proud of yourself, man. Like 8 stories in the last couple of years. That's incredible.
That's brilliant.
So what are some of these anthologies for the wicked and the wise, who are listening or watching right now?
Well, the first one, it came up kind of like it was kind of random, because Heather Buckley, who produced the movie The Ranger, about the punk rockers who accidentally kill a cop, and then they go on the run. They end up in a house in the woods, and a forest ranger hunts them down one by one.
That sounds pretty awesome. I don't think I'd heard of that, though. So
it's a great indie horror movie.
Cool.
I forget who it stars, but anyways, the producer, Heather Buckley, she sent me this posting that St. Rooster Books is my publisher. They were looking for people that would want to contribute to a punk rock horror anthology. Nice. And I was like, I can do that. I'm all those things. So funny enough, I went back into the crazy straw that is my brain, and I pulled out a story that I had come up with in like 6th grade about demonic skateboarders who kill everybody in their way. And I just remember, like, I wanted to in 6th grade, I wanted to work with the cool kids who are into skateboarding and heavy metal. And so I came up with this idea. I wrote the story. They did the designs, the drawings, and but of course, I updated it with a lot more gore and profanity. But yeah, and made it gay, of course, because everything I do is got to be a little gay. Yeah. And a lot of the stories have links to, I'm definitely inspired by my personal, my life. But yeah, that anthology was called, now I feel, oh God, I'm drawing a blank on everything. Caught me at a bad time. Yeah.
We're accepting of the blank. We're accepting of the blank.
Accept it.
So
it's called Kids of the Black Hole.
Nice.
Yeah, by St. Rooster Books, and there's a lot of good stories in that one. But like ever since then, they put out a literary magazine that comes out 4 times a year, and I've written a short story for every one of those. Wow. And they did an anthology book where it was all horror stories based on water, and I did one for that. That one's called Let the World Drown. and I did one. It was an homage to the Blind Dead movies.
Nice.
And
oh yeah.
To be completely honest, I'd watched maybe one of the Blind Dead movies, and I didn't rewatch them. I just sort of like took the mythos that I remembered and I interjected them into a story that connected, because I'm building a world. I'm building a Germ T Ripper, Jeremy Lowe literary world. So I made a prequel to my first story in this story, and it was called the story I wrote was called Time Has Come Today, and it mentions characters and stuff that were in the story prior, and then everything is, all the stories I write have at least something linked, whether it's a car or even just something as simple as like a smell. I mention in almost all my stories I mention lilacs. I don't know why, but I do. So I'm hoping that maybe next year I can come up with a compilation of just my stories. Nice. And I want to call it the Lilac Retribution Theory. So, or at least that's what I told my therapist. That's what I wanted to do.
So now you have to. If the therapist knows,
yeah,
it's set in stone. It's set in
Although
stone.
he tells me, he's like, if you don't find joy in something you do because you have an exceptionally stressful life, if you don't find joy in what you're doing outside of, your main priority of, your relationship and work and blah, 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 don't do it. Just don't do it.
That is the balance.
So yeah, I'm getting there. I'm gonna be 44 in June, and I'm just like, yeah, if I'm not finding joy in something, I'm not gonna continue doing it. But I still love writing. I'm still staying pretty busy. I haven't done much stand-up comedy in a while. I got a gig booked in Indiana in May.
Where in Indiana?
Yeah, Michiana. Sounds
Michiana.
Right?
Oh man, that's north for me. I'm in Indianapolis now, Germ. I didn't know if I told you that.
I did. I should know that. I think I remember you. I think I remember you posting something about that. That's wild. Indianapolis is great.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It great? Seems like it'd be great.
It's okay. It's definitely
it's okay.
It's cooler than I remember. It's getting there. It's trying. These are all the things I try to say. It ain't no Chicago, but it is not bad. But people here do think they are in the Indy 500 everywhere they drive. That sucks because they're all driving like 1980s cars or like just really terrible cars,
like IROC Z's.
Just just like those, I don't know, just like a truck that's barely together situation. Nice. Always, and you can just hear them coming down the road, and you're just like, that thing is gonna fall apart. Like, we're just like Lexus SUVs. It's just bullshit.
Tattooed gay punk rock skater boys to come down there and
No, I just want to have
peer into those falling apart indie drivers there.
Have a big fat hillbilly kidnap me and throw me back in the truck and do what they want with me.
Absolutely, and they're here too, and they're probably straight.
That's why you have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. You don't need to. You've got that fantasy going for you, Germ, right there.
They're probably like, we were gonna come here and we were gonna come take you because you're gay, but really what we want to do is lick you from head to toe.
We want to put our things in your butt, and we want you to put your thing in my butt. I kind of touched on that in one of my stories called Macho Insecurity.
Yes.
It came out in the first issue of the St. Rooster Books literary magazine, Stranger with Friction. And it's like this queer punk rock boy guy goes to college, and it's like the mid 90s, so internet is just sort of becoming a thing like that's accessible to normal people that aren't. Anyways, he gets on there, he finds a leather bonded website, and he's like, oh, he contacts a guy, and then he goes out for a smoke break because he's working in the library at the time. He goes out for a smoke break. Next thing you know, fog rolls in and darkness falls, and then a large brooding stranger knocks him over the head and kidnaps him, and it's all just blood and cum and sounding and fisting punk rock from then on.
Absolutely. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Look at Brian. Brian's clutching.
No.
his pearl.
It just made me laugh because I actually I just wonder how much in our community knows what sounding is, and that can be quite horrific.
Right. That's why I included it.
Oh
Well,
shit!
it was
Remind me what sounding is, guys.
Basically, you might have a better explanation than I do, Germ. But
I feel like you're gonna tell me, and I'm gonna be like,
at a bathhouse many moons ago, and they had a leather demonstration, and of course, I was the little,
You're like,
boy next door.
What's happening? What are we talking about?
Working the snack bar. So all the leather guys were like, "Oh, go in the other room and check it out." And so there was a sounding demonstration, and I was just like, "Holy shit!" So yeah, so that was quite had never heard of it or until then. So
what is it for the Dagger Cast listeners?
Actually, but she's actually asking what it is, though.
What is it?
Just how you found out about it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I figured I was kind of setting up the story. Figured I don't know if you wanted to, but you might have a better.
Would you like to do the honors?
Explanation.
I kind of wish I did, because in the story, the punk rock guy that gets kidnapped by the big burly daddy guy, it's not actual sounding, and what they did in the story is the kidnapper sticks the outlet to a stereo into the boy's urethra. Am I saying that right?
Urethra.
Urethra.
We're accepting of that pronunciation.
Urethra.
And then plays punk rock through the stereo, and it courses through the boy's body, and it's like torture, but erotic torture. So anyway, sounding, as far as I know, I've never done it, I've never seen it in person, is they take these metal rods.
Yep.
They kind of look like piercing needles because they're long and pointy.
Yep.
Sure.
And they stick them in the head of their penis
into the urethra,
and sort of go up and down.
Yep.
And I don't understand the joy it brings, but that's it. Somebody must enjoy it because it's a thing. It's a big thing.
It's kind of, well, particularly I stumbled upon it like unaware of what I was going to see, in the demonstration room. So it was shocking at first, but it's a sex act that people really enjoy, and the person it was being done to, was kind of laid back on like kind of an examining chair, was beyond happy. It brought them a lot of pleasure, and but yeah, it's not something that you would normally, you think about. I suppose.
Right.
But, I like the idea. I like the way I like the way that you kind of made it more kind of a more entertaining.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, like playing
totally
the punk, like, because I would always want, if you've got a metal rod, you can conduct it to like there's those like vibrators that are like for beat, like you can sync them up to a song.
Get Spotify on that thing.
Yeah, I kind of I like that idea. For a story, I don't necessarily know if I like it for myself, but
Well, I was trying to make it very sort of body horror. I was trying to go for a very like body horror, hypersexuality, ultra violence, all wrapped up into one.
Yeah.
So I was trying to tackle all these different ideas and make it queer and make it punk rock, and also sort of focus on something. Well, I never had a piece of stereo equipment shoved into my junk, but I met a big burly man on the internet. He didn't kidnap me. I got into his car and back to his house, and we had hot, wild sex. But I was 19. I think he might have been mid 40s, early 40s. I don't remember, but we had a sexual relationship. We became good friends, and it wasn't too. I'm sure I might have mentioned this last time. I'm pretty proud of it, but it turned out that he was, this New Hampshire state senator. So
I don't know if you told us that story.
No. Wow.
We are accepting of the fact.
I accept that. Wow.
Yeah. I used to tell my mom that I was very involved in the Democratic Party. I was just fucking a senator.
That's
It
beautiful.
was great. He brought me up to his attic, which was his dungeon. I'm like, shouldn't the dungeon be in the basement, not in the attic?
Ooh.
But
he's just turning those stereotypes on their head.
So my basement got flooded.
Dungeon was going to be in the fucking attic.
It was all locks and nipple clamps and stuff that I'd never experienced, and he's calling me boy and son the whole time, and I'm like, I'd never been into any of this shit, and I didn't know what. So I played along for a while until I just got sick of it, and I hauled off and I smacked him across the face, and I was like, look, I ain't nobody's fucking boy, and you're not my father, so I'm not your son. It's like, ooh.
And he liked that.
He did. His legs went up in that sling faster than.
That's hilarious.
Yes. He's like, I was looking for a boy who'd be willing to top me. I was like, that's your guy.
Shit. You did it.
That's awesome.
And so this, did this like kind of start your career of, because you said you used to have like people pay you money to like step on their dicks and stuff.
That was kind of random. I mean, everything's
kind of like, okay.
Random.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of random. But yeah. No, that I didn't. I hadn't even like made that connection, to be honest. And that was always funny, to me, that at the time when I was stepping on Andre's dick and balls for $50 to pay one of my student loans, I never thought of myself as a sex worker. I just thought I was paying one of my student loans with $50 that was easy to make.
Right?
Yeah, he was totally covered. I didn't have to see his fucking, bruised and beat up junk, thankfully.
Unlike Jackass Forever, where I saw literally all of it. I saw
that ain't no Jackass dick. You didn't see it.
I know. I heard you talking about it, and I really wanted to see it. And I'm sure it's probably not still in the field. Oh, that was very loud.
Still is. You're fine.
That was very loud. It was very loud.
It's all good.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh man, yeah, that's hilarious. Because it was you see so much beat up dick, like horribly beat up. You're just like somebody, like Steve-O gets like a paintball in his dick and like on it, and it's just so sad. You're like, oh no, but it's also hilarious because they're all just like laughing at it.
Sure, they got paid a lot of money to do that, but I don't think you could pay me enough money.
No, I can't. And even the girl that was like holding her own in these like she was getting bit by a scorpion like in her lip. She was putting her tongue on a taser, like it was wild, and she was like, "Oh yeah, let's do this." Like she was,
yeah, let's do this.
Yeah,
I grew up around in Stone Cold Farm Country out in Western New York, which you wouldn't think was Stone Cold Farm Country, but it was. But yeah, but of course, there was electric fences everywhere to keep the cows and the farm animals in. And I remember one day it was a softball game, and all the local dads, including my dad, were out there playing, and us kids were tramping around in the fields out, beyond the field. And my sister got a hold, like we all scooted under the electric fence to go play in the cornfields. Why, I don't know. And my sister accidentally touched the fence, and the shock made her clutch onto it.
Yeah.
And we couldn't, which is what you wouldn't think. You'd think you'd touch it and boom, but you just like it like contracts your hand. And it took us forever to get her off.
Oh no.
Was she okay though? She wasn't like,
seriously, like I was like, poor thing, if Jackass had been in, she might have made $100,000 or whatever, but
she was
ahead of her time. She was ahead of her time, my sister, ahead of her fucking time. So
I mean, if she got
back then, it would have been in America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah,
right?
Seriously, something.
That's true. Yep.
Something. She nothing. And then there was no such thing even back then. Like I'm older than whatever.
Yeah,
you're turning 44. I just turned 54. So
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Happy belated. I'm the youngest one here, and I'm 37. This is awesome.
And you say like that's so old. I'm like,
like I think about like we're all talking about because we're all reaching our 40s and everybody's like kind of talking about like when their parents turned 40 and how everyone was like, oh man, that was old. I remember thinking, man, my parents are old. My mom got a tattoo when she was 40, so I was like, nah, I think we're gonna be okay.
I didn't start getting my ink like really seriously until I was in my 40s. Yeah.
Yeah.
I freaked out. I freaked out a coworker. She's like, you've got to stop doing that.
Stop doing it.
Because I came in like with my third tattoo and probably in 6 months or whatever. Just like, you gotta calm down.
You're like, at that rate, you'll be covered by next year.
Like, I think that's what she was thinking. They're gonna be on your face.
What type of adult tells another adult they would slow down on tattoos? It's not like you're smoking crack cocaine or murdering people. You gotta stop murdering people. No, it's a tattoo. It doesn't.
You gotta stop. Yeah, my husband's grandmother, who passed away a couple years ago, she would, every time she saw me, she would be like, oh, but you're so beautiful. You don't want to cover your skin and all of that. You're so pretty. I love your skin without it. And I'm like, good job.
That's when you take out 2 knives and you peel off your face and I'm like, here's my skin without it.
Yeah, you love my skin.
You can love it all you want.
Yeah,
that goes well at family reunions.
Like, great, cool. I'm carrying your great grandchild, and I don't care. Like, it's so silly.
Speaking of kind of punk rock horror, have you seen Straight Edge Kegger?
Yes, I'm a big fan of Straight Edge Kegger.
Jason Zink.
Jason Zink. Didn't it just come out with a new movie?
I don't know, but Straight Edge Kegger is
Tapeheads. I'm not sure what it's about, but it was playing the festival circuit.
Oh, is it? Okay, I actually wasn't aware.
I'm excited to see it because I'm such a fan of Straight Edge Kegger and like how he's progressed from doing the short to the full-length movie to just, and it's got a great soundtrack. He didn't stick strictly to punk rock. I mean, there's a song by Shannon and the Clams in there.
Which
I definitely popped for when it played. I put that in my review of the film. I'm a huge fan of Straight Edge Kegger. It was filmed in Indiana? I want to say.
Yeah, he's fairly Midwest local. Yeah. So for those of you out listening, it's a cool home invasion horror for it's basically the lead has reformed and is a part of this gang of straight edge folks, and they go crazy when he goes back to his partying ways, basically. So it's kind of, I think, a kind of a jab at extremism of any kind. Any kind of belief when you go too extreme is too much. So, but
yeah, this is great. I'm looking this up on IMDb. This is wild.
Yeah, it's kind of like Assault on Precinct 13 meets Suburbia.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been a lot of great punk rock horror that came out in the past few years. Have you seen Uncle Peckerhead?
Nope. I think I've heard of it, but I have not seen it.
I am a huge fan of Uncle Peckerhead. It's this indie punk rock band. They're about to go on tour. They're called Da, and they don't have a van to go on tour. So they start leaving flyers on random people's vans looking for a van that they can rent. One of the vans happens to have this old homeless guy living in it. And the guy's like, yeah, let's go on tour. I'll drive you. God, that's so loud. I'm so sorry. He tells him that everybody calls him Peckerhead. So that's Uncle Peckerhead. But then at night, he turns into like this zombie monster and eats people.
Oh,
so, the first time it happens, I think it was like a couple metalhead thugs that are trying to push him around, and he winds up eating them, and they're just like, "Yay, Uncle Peckerhead's eating the bad guys!" And it's another one. Great soundtrack, great cinematography. I mean, I love everything about it. It's just so smart, so well done.
That's awesome. I will look that up because as someone who's been on tour, that is like a perfect.
Yes.
It's like a perfect concept.
Yeah.
Because like if you eat a bunch of people, you immediately, you know, who's gonna expect this tiny band?
Yes.
Is touring. You know,
and if
no one's gonna.
And if you've been in a band and you've toured, then you can like sympathize with the characters. You're like, oh my God, I've been there. Oh, they're crashing at a person's house and like he's hitting on the girl in the band or one of the lead singer girl, and he's kind of a schmuck, and you kind of hope that Uncle Peckerhead eats him. Yeah, definitely check out. Check that out.
I love that whole kind of 80s NYC, New York City vibe. Like, because, and back in the day, all those indie horror films that were coming out of New York, like Driller Killer. And there's a film called Doom Asylum with Frankenhooker. I'm losing Patty. Is it Patty Mullen? Who's, isn't it? But they have like, it's not about the band per se, but the films have like no wave and metal bands that kind of figure into the plot. Like it's that whole aesthetic is so cool that even when the like Abel Ferrara's Driller Killer has a no wave band that's practicing in the Driller Killer's building and driving them crazy. Doom Asylum, they kind of go on this country trip to visit, you know, someone's mother's grave and wind up in this abandoned factory. And there's a female fronted no wave band practicing in the space that becomes a major plot point. And so I just love when that kind of punk rock aesthetic kind of gets in there, even if it's not the total focus of the film. So like Uncle Peckerhead and Straight Edge Kegger kind of have that gritty 80s NYC energy, you know, which I think is really, really cool.
Just like, really and cool. The other one I was talking about, The Ranger, definitely encompasses that.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah. I'm excited about that. I really want to see that.
Yeah, because they're punk rockers, and I think it's supposed to take place in New York, and you know, they all have drugs on them, and they accidentally kill a cop, and they're on the lam, and that's when they meet up with a forest ranger that wants to kill bad kids. And
oh, that sounds awesome.
It's very
these
cool.
all sound so good. I cannot wait.
Yes.
Uncle Peckerhead looks great. I'm super pumped. It's a punk band with two ladies in it, so that's perfect.
I can't recommend Uncle Peckerhead enough.
Ooh.
Have you seen, talking about Dollar Tree movies, have you seen Dead Ant?
I saw it in the theater as part of as part of the
Big Busey and Alicia Halley. Yeah.
I love Dead Ant. I thought it was really smart, really
another
funny.
Band, you know, on the run kind of film, but
it's more of an 80s metalhead or 80s glam metal.
Yeah,
and they're getting back together for a big festival. Turns out to not be such a big festival, and then giant radioactive ants pop out of the ground and start chasing them. It's awesome. It's very
awesome.
smart,
Great
very
cast, Sean Astin, and just crazy.
Sean Astin and Tom Arnold. This is insane.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's you know,
it's a great cast.
Spinal Tap meets Tremors. It says.
Yes, that's a great way of putting it.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh God, I'm sorry.
It's
okay, I'm sold. I'm in on this.
And I think it's Alicia Halley, but she was in The L Word, but she was a musician. She had a pretty popular. Oh my God, I can see the cover of their, but it was a Lilith Fair type band, you know. So she's actually a legit musician who's in it, and I can't think of the band's name right now.
Amazing. Well, hey, we just got the producer alert that we are at like a minute left.
Are we at a minute left?
We are. Germ, please tell us, is there anything that you want to plug? Is there anything upcoming that you want to talk about that's like kind of going on with you? Or
absolutely. What month are we in? I can't lose track.
March. We're in the Ides.
March 26th at T Woods in Woodsdale, Illinois. I'll be doing my pro wrestling shtick as Germ T Ripper. I'm a wrestling personality with POW Entertainment, and during the show, I get in the ring and I interview one of the wrestlers. And this month it will be styling Sean Easton. I'm really bad with names. My brain is not functioning properly.
It's Tuesday.
I'm usually in bed by this time lately. But yeah, no, I've been training to be a pro wrestling manager, and with POW Entertainment, POWW, Purely Obsessive Wrestling World.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit too old, a little bit too fragile, and I'm not coordinated, and I have a horrible sense of balance, or else I'd probably be in there. Like if I was 20 years younger, I'd figure it out. But I'm not. So yeah, I'm a wrestling personality. And if you've ever seen my band Modern Day Rippers and the character I was on stage with that band, I have basically taken that character and just put him into the world of pro wrestling.
Wonderful.
So, yeah,
I was about to say
excited.
this.
So yeah, March 26th at T-Wood in Wooddale, Illinois. $15 in advance, $20 at the door. I want to say doors are at 7. Bell is at 8 p.m. Yeah, it's always a good time.
One of my buddies is doing that. Do you know him?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Mateo Valentine.
Yes, Mateo Valentine.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's wrestled a few times for POW. He's actually gone up against our champion Scott Spade for the title. Yeah. So yeah, there's a weird link. Yeah, he mentioned you the last time I was part of the show. We were setting up the ring, and he was like, he said something about how he was in your musical.
Yeah,
was it Bathhouse of the Dead or
Zombie Bathhouse? Yeah.
He was in that. So
yeah, well, maybe we'll have to have you and he back, because I would love to get him on here, because I think what he's doing is super cool. So
yeah,
awesome.
He's amazing.
He's a very flamboyant Filipino wrestler, and he's just playing to the fact that he's not like super muscular and very effeminate. And
I've seen a lot of like really fancy like effeminate wrestlers that are really just like almost like house dancing, like their moves, and you're just like, oh shit, like I'm really into it. I hope we see more of that. I hope that yeah, like we're already seeing like a lot of in the mainstream wrestling stuff, like we're seeing a lot of women and they're getting kind of wild, but I want to see more. I want to see more like effeminate men kick some ass.
Well, I am happy to see that it's being so accepting. There's more trans people, more non-binary people.
Yes.
And I think for me, the best example of a LGBTQ wrestler that is not an AEW or WWE, but he's doing things his own way, is Effie. I mean, he comes out there and he's got his pink leather jacket with huge spikes on it, and, his fishnet stockings, and he's probably one of my favorite queer wrestlers. But my favorite one is definitely Pero, because he is just a big old muscle bear with a huge beard, and he's always shirtless, and he does very dangerous things. He throws people. He like hits a motherfucker with another motherfucker. He just what he is known for is no ring death matches, where there's lots of weapons, there's lots of broken glass, and I was just like, and he's gay and sexy.
Oh damn, Effie!
I can't tell from that physical description of him why you would appreciate him, but I'm glad you do.
Yes, everything about Pero. He's the deathmatch daddy bear.
Awesome.
I met him last year when they had Effie's Big Gay Brunch in Chicago. It's all LGBTQ wrestler event that they have at different parts in the country, and this past summer they had it in Chicago, so I got to meet him there.
Whoa!
Cool. And also, we have our own local LGBTQ wrestling company. I'm not sure what the letters stand for. I only saw that they did, I think it was their first event, but it was called NLS, and the event was NLS is for everybody. And it was all, non-binary, queer. It was great.
Nice.
I wish I could have made it, but I was working that night. I was working a 12-hour day and couldn't make it. Yeah. So, but a lot of great talent.
That's amazing that isn't necessarily the activity or sport that you would think would be so revolutionary, but it seems like it really is, like from seeing Mateo post stuff, and it's really fucking awesome. It's really cool.
Sweaty men in their underwear, sweaty people in their underwear. Come on,
that makes sense. No, it totally makes sense. It totally makes sense.
Again, it's just like Santa. It's just like Santa. It's just like Santa Daddy. I'm just like, this makes so much sense. Of course, like, may the gays take this by storm. I'm just looking at Effie, or the weapon of sass destruction.
Yeah, I mean, he has his own clothing and merch company called Wrestling is Gay.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I'm gonna get my friend Garrett into this so hard.
I have a pink and purple tie-dye shirt that just says "Wrestling is Gay" across it.
Amazing. Awesome. I have a friend like a very like a cis, just straight friend who loves wrestling, and my friend Garrett, who is gay, is just like, I don't know, I could take it or leave it, but I'm gonna get them together.
You're gonna make him accept that.
I'm gonna make accept wrestling.
He's gonna accept gay wrestling.
Thank you. Oh my God, Germ, you have just been. You are literally like a Renaissance man of doing great things. I am so happy that you are finding joy in doing things outside of your work. I know that can get fucking crazy. It does for me too. I'm happy that you are making room and space, literally, for your clowning around. And before we go, I really wish I could say goodbye to my little clown baby. Is that can we go back to the clown room and talk to, what was his name? Nixon?
As long as my phone doesn't die.
I hope it doesn't. If it does, we'll just end this. It's totally fine.
If it does, we will accept it.
It's a small house, but at the same time, there's room for everything. There's so many dimensions.
I know, I love it. I'm so okay. Now he's going downstairs, so now he's in like the entertainment center.
Right, back through the darkness.
I love
back
it.
Down. All right, we're back in the clown room. You want to say goodnight to who? Is that Dixon?
Yes. Good night, my little boy. I love you.
Good night, Lindsay. Razor's my newest. You like to say, or they? They, them.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you for expressing the pronouns. They look lovely.
They are beautiful.
Thank you so much, Germ. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on.
Yay.
As always, I love being here. I love both of you. Stay
safe
and healthy.
We'll have you back.